Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I'm Taylor. Today I have like a Halloween themed what's for lunch video to share with y'all. It's perfect for your kids. You could do this on Halloween or like leading up to Halloween. I like to do like all kinds of fun Halloween themed food for my kids leading up to Halloween, and they absolutely love it. So I've got this lunch video to share with you today, but I hope to have 2 more Halloween videos up for you before Halloween. One's going to be breakfast and then another one like dessert / snacks. So I hope to have those up for you in the next week. But today we've got lunch, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So first up, I have these Jello Worms, which I'm not exactly pleased with the coloring on these, but I still think they're a fun idea that I wanted to share with you. And the kids really, really liked them. They thought they were hilarious. So I'm starting off by mixing together 1 3-ounce package of strawberry Jello and then 3 packages of plain gelatin. And then I'm going to add in 3 cups of boiling water and get that all mixed together. And then you want this to cool slightly. So I stuck this in the fridge for about 30 minutes. For your Jello mold, you're going to need about 100 bendy straws and then some sort of wide mouth jar. I used an old pickle jar. You'd preferably want something a little bit taller, but this worked just fine. And I'm just taking each straw and like pulling out the bendy part so they're fully extended, and then putting them down in the mason jar bendy side down. Now while I was waiting for my Jello to continue cooling, I got together some heavy whipping cream. I did 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and then some green food coloring. And this is where I think this went wrong. I was following a recipe that said to use like 10 or 15 drops of green food coloring. I'm not entirely sure why, but her worms looked way better than mine and the coloring looked way better. I don't understand why she chose green. And then I mixed that heavy cream with the green food coloring in with my Jello mixture once it had cooled slightly. And I was like, there's no way these worms are going to be red, even though I know like the heavy cream and the Jello is going to separate when it solidifies like slightly. But I was like, it's going to be like green and red. It's going to look like Christmas. So I went in and added a couple more drops of red food coloring, and I got this like weird, like murky brownish red color, which I thought like looked way more like worms than the green did. So then you just take that mixture and you pour it into your straws. You don't have to be like precise and get it into every straw. As the like pickle jar or whatever jar you're using like fills up, the straws will level out and they'll all have the same amount of Jello in there. They filled up a little bit over halfway, and so they're like perfect little worm size. And then you just want to stick this in the fridge for at least 8 hours. I did overnight, and then the next day you can take your straws and just kind of squeeze them and push the worms out. As you can see here, the color of them, like it just completely separated. Like you've got half the tannish brown color and then half the Jello color. I think they still look pretty cool. The kids loved them. They thought they were so gross and cool looking. It was very time consuming. I only did part of them myself, and then I let the kids finish squeezing those out because it was a lot of work. And I don't know that it was worth it, but the kids really did enjoy it and they thought it was hilarious. I think putting the worms over like some crushed up Oreos would be a really good idea too. Next up, we have what I guess you could call is monster mac and cheese. This is super easy, especially if you use some box mac and cheese. I'm using Kraft macaroni and cheese. So you just need the ingredients that it calls for on the back of the box, some green food coloring, and some candy eyeballs, which I get these at Dollar Tree. So I'm starting off by just adding a couple drops of green food coloring to my water that I'm going to bring to a boil to cook my pasta. Once my pasta was done cooking, I added in the milk and butter that the box calls for, and then the cheese packet and some more of the green food coloring. And then just before serving, I topped this with some of the candy eyeballs. Next up, we have these little mummy sandwich kebabs, which are super easy. Again, all you really need that's like special for this is the candy eyeballs and then the little like kebab stick. They're like little tiny skewers, a little bit longer than toothpicks, and they have bats on the top of them. But you could really use just like skewers cut in half or whatever you want. But these ones I got at Dollar Tree. And then I'm using white bread, some Havarti cheese, some mayonnaise, and some turkey. So I keep with the whole like white theme of the mummy. And I just make the sandwich as usual, and then I'm going to cut the crust off and cut each sandwich into 4 little squares. And then you can stack them up and then just put them on the little skewers and add some eyeballs on. I wasn't too worried about them falling off, but if you were, you could just like put a little dab of like mayonnaise on the back of the eyeball and they'd stick to the sandwich fine. And what I like about all these recipes that I'm sharing is it's very easy to like adjust it and make more if you wanted to make these for like a Halloween party or something. Like you could just make a ton of these little sandwiches, or even if you have more kids than me. But I just made 2 sandwiches for my 2 kids. And finally, the last thing I have to share with you is just some cute ways to cut up some veggies. So I'm starting off with some cucumber. I am using a mini cucumber, but you could totally use a regular sized cucumber and just use the ends of it. So I'm just cutting it off so you've got like the rounded top to be like the top of the ghost, and then I am cutting them into thin slices, and then I just take a straw and use it to poke 2 holes for eyes, and then like I kind of make like an oval shape with the straw by making like 2 connected holes for the mouth, and I just repeated that with all my little cucumber slices. Then for the carrot, this one's a little bit trickier because carrots are hard, but you just want to take the like bigger end of the carrot, and we're going to cut those into little pumpkin shapes. So I use a big knife to kind of like score like 2 lines for the stem, and then I'm going to go back in. I try to use the big knife for this, but I go back in with a paring knife and kind of cut off the edges so it like sticks up and you've got a little cute pumpkin shape, and then you can just slice it. The big knife works best for that, so that is what I used. And here is the whole Halloween themed lunch spread. Everything came out super cute except the worms. Although the kids still really liked them, I think everything else looked way better. And the worms even tasted really good. I tasted them. It's just Jello, you know. But it was like slightly creamy because you had the heavy cream in there. Everything was great. Here's what the kids' plates looked like once they fixed them themselves. They've got their candy eyeballs on the side because they don't eat that with the mac and cheese. They just kind of eat them separately. But that is going to do it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you plan on trying any of these fun Halloween themed lunch ideas. I don't know about you, but I really love making things like this. Just seeing my kids happy just brings me so much joy. But I hope y'all have a good week, and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.